Okay, we continue now. We're going to start answering some of those questions that we had mentioned earlier, such as what happens when artificial intelligence becomes smarter than we are, why we're going to hack a Tesla, and the next one, which we're going to answer, is how do you transform a truck into a rocket? And to do that, we're happy to introduce the CEO of Snom Technology AG, Mr. Nadahl Shocair. Have fun.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. I know time is valuable, and I'm grateful that you are here to listen to me talk about how you transform a truck into a rocket. I don't have slides today, so you're just going to have to listen to me, okay? Very, very interesting speech by Dr. Lang before Marco Lang. Was very, very interesting stuff, and very, very inspiring, certainly. Let me give you a small tidbit of information about Snom, so you know who it is. Snom is a German multinational corporation. It's a Mittelstand corporation, and we were the world's first to produce a voice-over IP business telephone. And we're based in Germany, and we've become a leading brand in professional enterprise voice-over IP systems. Snom is one of those first startups in Berlin. It was started pre-2000, and I think it delivered its first telephone here at CeBIT in 2001. And currently, we are global. We have more than 25,000 resellers across the world in our database that sell and maintain and install our products. This speech is mostly about change and what's happening in the world to us today. And I would like to speak about this topic, which is simply that most businesses are terrified by radical change. And this radical change is happening all around us. And they're terrified for a very good reason. The immunity system in businesses to resist change is very, very common, but it's also practical, and it always kicks in to protect and maintain the status quo. But people must be very, very careful here, because the world is changing, and it's changing very rapidly. And the first industrial revolution happened, I think it was like in the middle to late 18th century with Cartwright's power loom and the steam engine. And then about 100 years later, it changed again with Edison's electric lighting and Benz's horseless carriage and countless other inventions that changed the world. But it also put a lot of people into unemployment and misery while this has been changing. We see some of that nervousness going on right now in the United States, where Make America Great Again is the battle cry of the Trump supporters, simply because they're nervous about what's happening to them, and they're normally coming out of the Rust Belt and the industrial parts of the United States. And they want to go back to the old industrial age, but the world is shifting yet again. And in the last century, with the invention of the transistor that gave birth to the information and communications technology industry, the ICT industry, this has produced waves and waves of invention and advances in humanity, and it deemed a lot of people in their own minds irrelevant. Rather than adapting to the change, they're actually resisting the change. And as we advance more into networking and semiconductor technology and software technology, what is happening now, or what is happening very, very soon, is things like connected machines and sensors, or you call them IoTs. Everything and anyone anyone and everything connected to each other at all times. More advances in ubiquitous web technologies. We have adaptive self-learning robots now. I don't know if you've seen those, but you can just go on YouTube and just do adaptive self-learning robots, and you can actually watch these things, and they scare a few people. Autonomous vehicles, we all know about those, but most people don't know that the state of California has actually, in fact, allowed the licensing of these cars now. So you can actually get a license plate for an autonomous vehicle. I heard Nevada has already followed or is following next. And it just starts, and it starts to roll from there. So I think little children at the age of 5 or less will probably never own a car. I've seen also pilotless drones. I've seen drone technology evolve, infinite computing, which is what we call cloud also. This is exciting. Life-extending DNA sciences, where you actually get dosed based on your DNA profile to extend your life, which is amazing. 3D printing to replace manufacturing, and we know about cryptocurrencies, and on the story goes. This is scary stuff. While I was preparing for this speech, I had a thought in my mind, as I'm old enough. I thought, what's this thing worth? I have an older iPhone 5S. Well, I think, what is this thing worth? Actually, I have a $4.5 million device in my pocket. In 1991 dollars, that is. In 1991 realities, this device was worth $4.5 million. And I did the math, actually. A gigabyte of flash memory in 1991 cost $45,000. It's 55 cents today. So 32 gigabytes, which is what this thing is, of flash memory times 45,000 is 1.4 million. That's just on the memory alone in this device. An A7 processor with a clock speed of 1.3 gigahertz, an integrated CPU and GPU, a graphics processing unit with 1 billion transistors producing 20,500 MIPS, in comparison to the 486 chip from Intel that had 1.1 million transistors and ran at 20 megahertz, yielding 16.5 MIPS. It costs $3,000. So when you do the math, the A7 processor in this device leads by a factor of 1,200 times. So in 1991, the price per MIPS was $30. So 20,500 MIPS in 1991 would have cost you $620,000. So we're roughly at $2 million bucks. We're not done yet. A mobile phone connection for basic communications was about $100 per kilobit per second. The iPhone's capacity is 10,000 times more, so network connectivity and bandwidth is 1.5 million. Add to that video conferencing from Compression Labs, $586,000, by the way. That's what it would have cost you to do your FaceTime in 1991. A GPS from TI Navistar was $280,000. A digital voice recorder from Sony was $9,000. A digital watch, the Seiko 35 SQ Astron, I really looked at this up, was $8,000. A 5 million megapixel camera from Canon was $6,200. A video player from Toshiba, $3,000. A video camera from RCA, do they even exist anymore? $2,600. A music player was from Sony with 100 CDs, was $2,000. And of course, the Atari 2600 for $700. Altogether, you add up to roughly $4.5 million. This is the value of this device in 1991, and today you can pick it up in the market for $500, a factor of 9,000 times. And this is the rapid speed that we're moving, and it's getting even faster. This may be controversial, but I personally believe that Moore's Law is now approaching the end of its life. I believe that transistors have become so small that shrinking them any further will push their cost higher, while infinite computing or cloud, it continues to expand and overtake the needs and fulfill many, many needs. The picture started changing in roughly 2007, and this was a real game changer, when the transformation from device as a means of access to become an applications game on that device. This is when it started to shift slightly. But we soon started to realize that empires are being built not on applications, but empires are being built on platforms and their APIs. And this is what's really happening. Jeff Bezos, the founder and CEO of Amazon, I found this on Google the other day, which I liked the comment. He said, "We make money when people use devices, not when they buy them." I like that. That's actually quite inspiring and should be inspiring for everyone. The industrial age that we talked about in the beginning of the speech was very linear in thinking. The new application age is very much rocket-like, what they call unicorn-like or exponential-like. And we have to start thinking about this carefully, because if you're building a linear business based on a linear business model, you have to stop and rethink very, very carefully. You need to find a category in the market, build a platform around the category to serve the category and the people in it, and dominate it no matter how narrow its focus. This is really important. You need to work on building a brand to own that market category is critical. Then you need to link your brand to that category. So if you think about these platforms, like Airbnb, for example, and we've probably all seen these slides where it says Airbnb is the largest lodging company in the world but doesn't own a hotel or a room or a pillow even. You want to think about Uber that doesn't even own a car, or GitHub, they don't produce software at all, or Indiegogo, one of the largest funding houses that doesn't fund anyone actually. We were previously, you see Salesforce, amazing API as well. Kiva, if you want to do micro lending, also, they don't lend, but they facilitate. They're a platform. 3D hubs. Even something like Soylent. Anybody ever heard of Soylent? Soylent? No? It's open source food. It's amazing. You should look at this. It's really funny. It's about a couple of developers in Los Angeles who were hungry all the time because they didn't have time to take a break. So they invented this food source. It's called Soylent. And they put it out on the internet, and people have downloaded the formulas and they're producing it all over the world. It's pretty cool. And you look at Instagram, for example. When I was much younger, I remember the chart that says a penny, I don't know if you know this also, a penny doubling every day would equal $10.7 million on day 31. You should look at that. This is how these rockets, these exponential rocket companies are actually growing. They're doubling. When you double every day, times the multiple of days, it just shoots them up like rockets. And this is exactly what's happening with those guys. If you take a look at the math, what they've done. In 1975, a guy by the name of Steven Sasson told his employer that he had invented the digital camera. This device took 50 milliseconds to capture an image, 23 seconds to record it to a cassette tape, 30 seconds to put up a 100 by 100 pixel black and white image on a TV set. Kodak decided to shove this guy into the basement and made sure that the product never saw the life of day, ever. Because they were making money linearly on every step of the process of photography. Paper, chemicals, and so on. So why give that up? That would basically kill film sales. This is what they thought. But Kodak filed for bankruptcy in 2011. Who would ever thought that Kodak would ever file for bankruptcy in 2011? It was just linear thinking. You know, I don't know, I want a show of hands this time really. Who has a ladder at home? I know I have one. Who has a ladder at home? How many times do you use a ladder in a year? 3 days. Exponential rocket thinking would say, I'm not going to sell ladders anymore, but I'm going to put together a logistics system. Whenever you need a ladder, whatever height it is, you just go online and you call me and I will deliver a ladder to you. And you will pay me $30 or whatever the value of that ladder may be. Maybe based on the number, the height of the meters or whatever it is. That is a rocket company. but selling ladder by ladder at the different department store, or the do-it-yourself stores and what have you, is what they do. So, and then suddenly manufacturing is gone. You think about today and tomorrow what's happening, and the fact that a human being is replaced by a single-arm robot that is self-learning and a 3D printer. 3D printers today can print on 350 different materials, including metals and gold. When I say metals, including gold. Incredible what's happening. I don't know if some of this stuff is here. Maybe I need to walk around if I have time to look around. But this is what's happening with 3D printing. And the human being is being replaced by that, and it's making a lot of people nervous. So, you know, just a food for thought. So it's very, very important to find the platform in your business. You need to think very clearly today on the basis of the realities of what's happening in the market. You need to plan your business around your community, plan it for exponential growth, and remember that all platforms are built on ecosystems. So the connection between people. Now, I run a company that manufactures business communications gear, telephones, devices. And these devices are engineered by us, designed by us, manufactured by us, and sold throughout the world. But we thought, how can we actually elevate the position of our company in order to leverage the knowledge base of our huge fan base and our huge reseller network? So last Friday, we put up Snom.io, which is an applications development platform where people can actually develop applications around your business telephone. And I challenged my own people in the company to say, would you develop applications for this? And it's amazing what came out. They actually were running a robot with a business telephone by pushing keys and stuff. And you're welcome to see the demos on our booth in Hall 13. We're right in the middle of everything, so please do come by. And they were controlling lights, and they were controlling the color of lights and the LED lights, and they were controlling all kinds of stuff. And I had one of my designers put together a video on the Snom.io website. I don't know, Cornelia, is it available? Can we see it? Is it possible? Maybe they'll play it on YouTube. I don't know. Let's see. Wrong one, I think. That's not it. That's not it.
We have here
No.
brand new.
Can you find it, please? It's Snom.io. It's an unboxing video, but I mean, if you're welcome to watch it too, if you want. I'll have a dialogue with you after this. I don't want to put too many slides up and all that, so I just wanted to show you.
And we will unbox that.
No. Unboxing. We have a ton of those, so I can see why. I thought they'd already queued that up. All right. That's it. So controlling devices, IoT devices via your business telephone, that's a first. So I launched it last Friday right before CeBIT with just a very, very limited number of emails that went out. And we have about 100, I think it was 130 or 135 signups every day from all over the world. And people are thrilled and excited because nobody ever thought you can go into the business on the desktop, on a desk and start developing applications around that. Of course, there are different categories of applications that can be built around this. This was just a small example of a bunch of engineers having fun at my office in Berlin. I mean, right now, they're even showing our cameras there's a camera at Landsberger Allee in Berlin somewhere, and you can actually watch that on a device. So you can move your companies from trucks or linear type companies into rockets, definitely. You just have to think about your ecosystems. You have to think about what's possible and how you can actually leverage all that and put together the platform in order for you to grow and make sure that people can link into that platform easily and be supportive and let them support each other as we have a community portal for all of our partners as well, where they come in and they can meet one another. And I will take questions or comments if you have any. No? Wow, must have been very enlightening that you're stumped for speech. All right. So, thank you so much. Thank you. And I appreciate your time. Thank you. Thanks. No, nobody wanted to ask anything.
Oh, no one wanted. Okay.
No.
Very good. I was just going to maybe ask you. We've got time maybe just for one question before we bring in our next guest. Where did you come up with the title? How do you transform a truck into a rocket?
Well, I mean, I always see these little companies, or they're not little anymore. I see them as rockets because you know, the amount of the momentum that they generate in the market is they appear to me like rockets. I'm a bit of a visual person.
Yeah.
So, and I see the old stodgy companies like the trucks, you know, sort of in a fleet of trucks going on the freeway and stuff. So it was just a title that was inspired in the morning, and it worked. Yeah.
It worked. All right. Well, good. Yeah. Well, we appreciate you being here. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Great presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's give him a round of applause, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.